With that, let's welcome in our fine broadcast team. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, it's one of the new jewels of the NFL, no doubt, as you get a look inside U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Washington Redskins and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's got people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Redskins, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And leading them out there, their 6'5" quarterback. Juke. Even with that broken tackle, can't go very far. Stop short of the 30. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
It's been quite the evolution for Stephon Diggs because when he came out of high school, many thought he was the top prospect going into college football. Didn't have quite the career that was expected. And actually got drafted lower than what many people thought. But, boy, is he playing to a top level now while he's in Minnesota.
And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they're going to face a third down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
Atkins now to throw on third down. He can't avoid the pressure. Redskins get there. Jonathan Allen in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. Time with Hill. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice gain. They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. Now gone. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
They'll run it with Hill, and he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, "Are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down." They love being physical.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Now a play fake here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. He probably feels like he cannot get a break. He was sacked 7 times last week. And here we go again in the first quarter.
And we always talk about the internal clock of a quarterback in the pocket and how he has to have a real keen sense of it in order to get rid of the football. After being sacked 7 times last week, that clock has been sped up.
8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
And that is caught by our Darius Stewart. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard near the 25.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. An update from Buffalo. Early lead in that one for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, a first-quarter touchdown pass in that one. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, but the net gain, 3 points.
And you're going to have drives like that in this league. Sometimes you just got to take the 3 and move on. Always better than nothing.
Now they try the right side here. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain. Simply not much more you can ask out of your running back. Over 100 yards and the 3 touchdowns.
And for an old coot like me, I loved it because he did it on the ground. A running back taking control of the game. That's what I like to see.
Hold on. An old coot?
Coot, C-O-O-T.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They've got a 2nd and 9 to start things out.
Watch left. Tight end to the left. Let's go. 1-9.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. This time he'll look to throw. And he's able to find Diggs. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles.
Touchdown, Vikings! A big play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Just a 4-play drive that time, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Here's Myers now to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it. I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Daniil Hunter in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. And with that sack, partner, he just became the all-time NFL sack king.
So now the Mount Rushmore of sack artists has been added to. This man now goes to the head of the class. Carve out a new spot for him.
And he fields it cleanly. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
He just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
Every now and then when we see a really good run, we really tend to focus on what other people did in order for that run to happen, what the offensive line did, what the receivers did to help. Sometimes the running back's pretty good, too. And on that play, he picked up a lot of good yardage and made it happen with great effort.
And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Larry Ridley will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Looking to throw. Adkins. A swing pass caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And he knocks it through. They've gone to the 2nd quarter in Buffalo. Early lead in that one for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers with 1 touchdown pass thus far. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Now Goff on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And they're trying to line up quickly here. Goff urging them on. Here's Goff now on 2nd down. Underneath here to Hill. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. From the gun, here's Goff. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and they just continued there with that incompletion.
And definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. It's the 2nd quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make...
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. The extra point now coming from Myers. And it's 21-3. Here's Myers now to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Second down now after the pass completion. A shotgun snap for gone. Throw left side is taken in by Stewart. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Now a first down throw. Gone. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they're going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return. A scoop and score for the Vikings. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here. And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
And that run was what a lot of people call an explosive run. Gave them good yardage, solid yardage. They feel good about the whole thing, and they did it behind a 2 tight end set. It's always interesting to watch what offenses want to do with the 2 tight ends. Sometimes they line them up together for a power set. Sometimes they put one on each side of the line of scrimmage to balance things out. No matter what, though, when you see 2 tight ends on the field, your first thought is to think run. In this case, the offense was able to run successfully.
Here we go. Black 20.
The final shot before break here. Goff. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this one is incomplete. So, all right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create...
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in the run game. No gain.
A pickup of 24 on the third down conversion.
When I watched Jared Goff on tape at Cal, I saw a guy who wasn't just a dart thrower. You know, a lot of people said, he's perfect for the West Coast.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
It's been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
On second down, Hill. And now running right through it. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Call it a 6-yard gain. Still plenty of work to do coming up. 3rd and 14. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. This may be one of the best stretches of defensive football that I've seen. I don't know about you. 5 sacks last week, now 3 here in this affair.
I would agree with that, and I've enjoyed watching the skill that's gone into it. You can see the intent.
And the pressure gets to him again. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
3rd and long. It's gone. Able to fight through one tackle. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Stewart. Well, a heck of a play there on 3rd down, but amazingly, they're still short for 4th.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get...
Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. And they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
Now it's gone. That's complete over the middle to Stewart. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or...
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
Whether it's what we call an even front or an odd front, and an odd front's real easy to figure out. If that guy is lined up over the nose of the center, typically that's an odd front defense. Odd number of people, meaning 3-4 versus the 4-3.
So the chains are on their sides. It's 1st and goal from the 6. Out of the gun. Goff. He's going to lead this for his running back. It's complete. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up third.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do?
And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And his kick here is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's likely not going to matter much, but at least they get themselves 3 points closer to respectability.
And I don't know that they're going to feel a whole lot better about things because they've clearly been outplayed all game long. But, hey, no reason not to take the points when the opportunity presents itself.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. The risk reward of the onside kick. When you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, and field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things. Now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. Fourth quarter, you've got the lead. You have to stay in bounds and run that clock. Coaches, that'll drive them crazy.
Sacrifice a yard or two if you have to. Just go down, in bounds, keep that clock going. It's almost like he was caring more about his fantasy stats than it was about winning the game, and that has to drive a coach crazy.
Cut in left. Cut in left. Hey, go down. Go down. Let's go. Brand 38. Brand 5.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. Oh, design run for their wideout. Touchdown, Vikings!
You know, in golf, they often talk about playing the course and not worrying about what the other players are doing, what their scores are. That's essentially what we're seeing from this offense. They're just having fun and doing what they feel like doing today.
Now Myers for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And the last play, a really nice run that culminated in the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. So out now come the Redskins. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. We know this defense has some playmakers. We saw it right there. Well, really, we've seen it the whole game.
Isn't it nice to see that on the opposite side of the ball? Respect, my man, respect. The defensive guys are outscoring their opposing offense.
Yeah, they're outscoring him indeed with that score alone. The extra point now coming from Myers. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Adams. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read. Better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. And now they're looking for 19 yards here on third down following 2 negative plays. Here's Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And that might just submit it. A return for a late touchdown. We know this defense has some playmakers. We saw it right there. Well, really, we've seen it the whole game.
Isn't it nice to see that on the opposite side of the ball? Respect, my man, respect. The defensive guys are outscoring their opposing offense.
Yeah, they're outscoring them indeed with that score alone. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Now, this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it.
Under pressure, they got him again.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
To throw on second down is gone. Crowder's got it over the middle. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Throwing on third. Goff. And incomplete here on third down.
That's a first down if he holds on, but you saw the contact. Able to jar it free from him and force a fourth down.
Great play defensively there, as you said, just to knock it free, because if he had caught that, past the sticks, first down. Here's Tressway now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right? And sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages.
Here we go now. 3, 9, 10.
And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Well, now they'll try the end around. And some room to roam now. And he gets this one up just shy of the 35 to the 34. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Let's go. 3, 19.
Stepping up, he'll try and run. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
He finds some open field here. A big seam, and he might go all the way. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Starting to really smell a 4-0 start right now. Can't ask for a better first quarter of the season than that.
And you're not supposed to look ahead, but guess what?
You're going to?
They have to, because when you get to if you get to 4-0, you're not just thinking playoffs now. You're thinking about, okay, this team has the capabilities of winning a Super Bowl. They could very well be the best team in the NFL at this moment.
I think they played the best. I mean, there have been a few hiccups offensively and defensively, but probably the best team we've seen, right?
And has the ability to get better.
Five plays there on that drive. And a long run there in the end to top it off. Here's Myers now to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And barring something unforeseen, this will be the last play of the game. One last throw here for Goff. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. Goff now to throw. And that will be incomplete, as time has run out on this football game. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Vikings, that early momentum continues here as they move to 4-0. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Chicago Bears next week. Meanwhile, for Washington, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants.